In a quaint village nestled amidst rolling hills, there lived a young woman named Maya. Known for her radiant smile and her unwavering kindness, Maya seemed to be the embodiment of joy. Her laughter echoed through the village, and her presence brightened the dullest of days. But there was a secret that Maya kept hidden beneath her cheerful exterior, a secret that weighed her down, threatened her peace, and cast a long shadow on her life. That secret was depression. Part 1: Maya's Depression. Depression was an invisible companion, a silent tormentor that haunted Maya's thoughts and emotions. It wasn't merely feeling sad, it was an overwhelming darkness that enveloped her, rendering her powerless and disconnected from the world. Maya knew she couldn't ignore it any longer. One quiet evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the first stars pierced the inky sky, she decided it was time to confront the darkness within. Her heart filled with a strange mix of determination and trepidation, and she sought solace in the wisdom of her village's elder, a man revered for his deep knowledge of life and the teachings of Buddhism. His name was Ananda. Maya found Ananda seated beneath a Bodhi tree, an ancient symbol of enlightenment and awakening. She began by sharing her experiences, confessing the heavy burden she had carried for so long. Her words flowed like a river, carving a path through the hidden contours of her heart. She spoke of the persistent sadness, the hopelessness that seemed endless, the loss of interest in everything that once brought her joy, the restless nights and languid days, and the relentless storm of guilt and worthlessness that raged within her. "Ah, my dear Maya," Ananda said with a serene smile, "you have taken the first step toward healing by acknowledging the presence of depression in your life. It is a courageous act, one that many find difficult to take." Maya's shoulders seemed to lighten at his words. To know that she wasn't alone in this struggle, that there was a name for the invisible weight that burdened her, was a relief. Ananda continued to speak, guiding her through the understanding of depression, its nature, and its characteristics. Depression, he explained, is like a relentless shadow that obscures the light of the heart. It's not just feeling sad, it's a complex emotional state that impacts every facet of your being. It's as if a heavy shroud veils your perception of the world, coloring everything in shades of gray. But, my dear, the presence of darkness doesn't negate the existence of light. Depression is but one chapter in the book of your life, it is not the entirety of your story. Part 2: How it can be identified. As Maya listened intently, Ananda shared insights on recognizing the signs of depression. He wanted her to be vigilant not just for herself but also for others who might be silently struggling. Depression, he said, manifested differently in every individual, but there were common threads to watch for. Prolonged sadness and hopelessness, a persistent and unshakable sense of sadness, a feeling of hopelessness, and an inability to envision a brighter future. Loss of interest, the erosion of interest in activities that were once a source of joy and pleasure. A person with depression might withdraw from social events, hobbies, and even personal relationships. Changes in sleep and appetite, depression could lead to significant changes in sleeping and eating patterns. Some individuals suffered from insomnia, while others experienced hypersomnia. Appetite changes could result in either significant weight loss or gain. Inability to focus and decide, depressed individuals often found it challenging to concentrate, make decisions, or remember details. Feelings of guilt and worthlessness, a heavy burden of guilt and self-criticism often accompanied depression. A person might blame themselves for perceived failures or shortcomings, even when they were not at fault. Isolation, depression often led to a desire to withdraw from social activities, close relationships, and the world in general. The darkness became a barrier between the individual and the outside world. Maya listened with rapt attention, recognizing many of these symptoms in her own life. Tears welled in her eyes as she considered the lives that depression had touched, often unbeknownst to those who bore its weight. Understanding the signs of depression, Ananda said, is not just about identifying the affliction in yourself or others. It's also about dispelling the stigma that often surrounds it. By openly discussing depression, we can create a safe space for those who suffer in silence, a space where they can seek help without judgment. Maya thanked Ananda for his wisdom and compassion. She left his presence that day with a newfound understanding of depression, knowing that recognizing its presence was the first step toward liberation. Part 3: How it can be resolved in the Buddhist way. Ananda wasn't just a source of wisdom, he was a beacon of hope for Maya. His teachings, grounded in Buddhist philosophy, offered a path to healing that resonated with her. She had witnessed countless travelers in her village seek solace beneath the Bodhi tree and emerge with hearts full of peace. Maya, Ananda began, depression is not your true self. It is a passing storm in the vast sky of your consciousness. Just as clouds may temporarily obscure the sun, they cannot extinguish its light. Your inner radiance is ever present, waiting to pierce through the darkness. He introduced Maya to the practice of mindfulness, a core tenet of Buddhist teachings. Mindfulness encouraged individuals to be fully present in the moment, to observe their thoughts and emotions without judgment. Maya embraced mindfulness, slowly learning to become an observer of her own mind. She observed the thoughts that emerged from the depths of her consciousness, neither labeling them as good nor bad. Instead, she learned to view them with detached curiosity, recognizing that they were not her entire reality. Ananda guided Maya through meditation, allowing her to immerse herself in the stillness of the present moment. She discovered that within that stillness lay profound insights into the nature of her suffering. Her thoughts and emotions became like leaves floating on the surface of a tranquil pond, no longer drowning her. One day, as Maya meditated beneath the Bodhi tree, she experienced a moment of profound clarity. She realized that while her depression had cast shadows over her life, it did not define her essence. She was not her depression. She was a being of light, love, and infinite potential. As Maya's understanding deepened, Ananda introduced her to loving-kindness meditation. This practice involved sending warm wishes of happiness and well-being to herself and others. Through it, Maya cultivated self-compassion. She forgave herself.